Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to yet another edition of our podcast. We are so glad that you are here with us this evening. We got a loaded show to talk to you this evening. I am T. Costa. Joining beside me is Jacob, Cody, and Jose. And fellas, we got a lot to talk about, but we gotta express our deepest condolences to the late, great Willis Reed.
This afternoon, that the two-time New York Knicks, two-time NBA champion Willis Reed has in fact passed away at the tender age of 80 due to what was the Cody complications of the heart.
His death was confirmed by former teammate Bill Bradley. He said he died of congestive heart issues. Mm-hmm. But he has been under treatment in Texas, in Houston.
Mm. I think Jacob was about to speak about that. Cody.
He told me.
As stated, Willis Reed is a former two-time NBA champion with the New York Knicks. At one point during his career, actually was playing with an injury during a game against the Lakers. He only put up like a couple of points, but it shows how tough he was during that.
Oh, I was about to say, I know exactly what you talk about, Jacob. It was the 1970 NBA Finals between the Los Angeles Lakers and the New York Knicks. Game 7 of the championship was on the line, and I remember I was seeing this on YouTube. I saw this like an hour before we come on. I was watching this on YouTube, and the commentators were talking, and they were having a conversation. They was getting to express doubt that they don't know whether or not Willis Reed was playing. Next thing before you know it, one of the commentators said, "Hey, I think that's Willis Reed ready to come up from the audience right now." That he was walking through the crowd. The crowd was loud, and right there at that point, the Lakers kind of figured, yeah, we're done for. Knicks went on to win the championship in 1970. Basically, like you said, Jacob, Willis he only scored like 4 points in Game 7, but boy, his appearance got the Knicks fired up and pretty much ran the Lakers off the court.
And the only other man I can think of that did the same thing that Willis did, but on a grander scale, was of course Curt Schilling in the 2004 ALCS when he actually had to play. He actually played like 6 innings with a tear on his right foot, on his right foot tendon, and was literally he pitched nearly 100 pitches and was just dominating the Yankees in Yankee Stadium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bloody sock game. And everybody was saying, is that blood fade? Is that catch already? Is that stuff? And a fan said it best: paint doesn't spread. They thought, it could be good. We could put little drops on there. No, he was literally dealing with a legit injury that he got in a bar fight, and he decided to suck it up, man up, and went out of the mound and pitched a hell of a game. I do believe Game 6. Mm-hmm.
And as a result, MSG Network tweeted this out earlier today. MSG Network celebrates the life of Knicks legend and Hall of Famer Willis Reed throughout the day tomorrow and throughout the Knicks Heat game.
I'm pretty sure that game's gonna start off with like a moment of silence because
which is fair because. Go ahead.
I was about to say, I think it's gonna start with a moment of silence because there's so much that he has done for that franchise. Basically, during the 70s, Madison Square Garden really was the Garden of Eden.
He helped give New York their only championships in NBA history, and to this day, he is still revered as one of the best to ever hit the Garden.
He will be missed. Rest in peace, the captain.
Indeed.
Absolutely. And
let's get started with this episode because I've been gone for a while and I've been missing out on a lot of great stuff that's been going on in the sports world.
Well, we have a lot of catching up to do, Jacob. And the first thing we got to catch up is apparently, Aaron Rodgers is going to the Jets.
Wait, you're serious?
Aaron Rodgers let the cat out of the bag. He wants to play for New York. It seems apparently he announced this on the Pat McAfee show Wednesday. that he wanted to go ahead and play for the Jets. Now I was saying to myself, as I was listening, is that me? Every quarterback that plays for Green Bay, the retirement home is the New York Jets.
Brett Favre could tell you that any day of the week.
Yeah, it's just, the thing of it is, and, you can see the groundwork, pretty much being put into play. Aaron Rodgers, he said when he was taking a trip, I think it was a darkness something. But something
it's like 4 days.
During the time in which he was away, he started thinking about if he wanted to retire, or he wanted to come back to Green Bay, or he wanted to play for the Jets. The thing of it is he says that he kind of get the feeling that Green Bay was trying to get rid of him. They wanted to move on from Aaron Rodgers. So
there may be some truth. There may be some truth to that, because Patrick's president, Mark Murphy on the NFL.com said he was addressing the situation. I am sworn to secretly to not say anything.
Wow. Yeah, that speaks a lot for how crazy this free agency is going on here for the National Football League. Tony said this at the beginning of the before we even started, that there has been some rumors cutting deep that if I remember correctly, Lamar Jackson is thinking about leaving Baltimore.
Yeah, I saw this. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think Jamal posted it on Discord. Something of a tweet.
The two teams that are maybe picking him up are the Vikings and Darth Vader.
The Vikings and Patriots.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Now, first of all, if Lamar goes to New England, what's gonna happen to Mac Jones? He's gonna get traded. Is he gonna be traded to Baltimore as compensation?
No, I think he might be like either a second starter or a third starter.
Oof, that's not good, considering the fact of how well he's been trained with Bill Belichick to be the next in line.
Yeah, people said that Mac Jones was the next Tom Brady.
Yeah, was the heir apparent, but if Bill gets a star like in Lamar Jackson, then that begs a lot of questions.
Absolutely. Now, also, the Ezekiel Elliott story with Dallas is over.
Oh, wait a minute. There is one more team that waived off Lamar Jackson. And, Jose, you may be happy about this one. Broncos country, let's ride.
Here's the thing, right?
Broncos have waived off Lamar Jackson.
I'm not surprised, because they're locking with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, they already put all their chips. They already put up all their eggs in the Russell Wilson basket.
As I say, guys, I think what Cody was referring to is not the Lamar Jackson you're thinking. They have a player on the team named Lamar Jackson, and Denver waived him.
Yeah, you're right. There has been many players in the NFL that have the same names.
Josh Allen being one of them.
But first of all, and also, like I said, the Ezekiel Elliott story in Dallas is over. They waived him. At least they're getting ready to waive him.
So that means Big League is now going to be a free agent heading in. Is now a free agent open for us for contracts.
Yeah. I think is anyone going to sign him though? That's the question. I mean, we know that running backs don't usually last too long in the NFL.
No. There's an old saying in football. It's no secret that running backs don't age well in the NFL. Jerome Bettis can tell you that firsthand. And and if I remember correctly, the age where they unfortunately peak is age 28, because after 29 they start falling off the cliff.
Also, yesterday Baker Mayfield tweeted this out. Hey, Jose, there's a new meme for Broncos country with ride. Tampa Bay says, "Let's fake."
Well, yeah, because if I remember correctly, Tampa Bay was thinking,
here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? I like that,
Tampa Bay, what's fake?
I like it. Is good. It is fun catchy. I give you that.
Yeah. Well,
it's catchy, but I'm just waiting for. I'm just waiting for that house to start burning down.
Yeah, I was about to say I can see it now. Patty cake, Baker's man. Get us the news as fast as you can.
There is some news about Roger Goodell and the NFL owners. They're expected to finalize a multi-year contract extension for the commissioner at next week's owners meeting in Phoenix.
God, that's gonna be awkward.
Well, I think that that's satisfied of what he's been doing so far. I mean, he's been they've been making money. So as long as they're making money, they're satisfied.
And the Raiders are signing O.J. Howard.
Now we've been discussing about the Washington football team is for sale.
Oh no!
Yeah, I remember. I actually saw this on my phone. Yeah, Magic Johnson is now putting his hat in the ring to buy out the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great! Yeah. Oh, great! So not only can Michael Jordan?
No, Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson.
Oh, Magic Johnson. Excuse me.
We'll get to Michael Jordan in a little bit, but keep going.
Yeah. So we got a lot of them. We got a lot of big time names who want to buy out the Commanders team and try to see if they can do it better than what that dick shit idiot Dan Snyder is doing.
I think the thing of it is also, Jacob. You know, you could tell, like I said, the Washington football team is for sale, and I think it was about a couple of months ago they said that Jeff Bezos is out of the running because apparently Dan Snyder is petty, and I mean petty as AT double hockey sticks. I guess because the Washington Post did an article which he didn't like, so. But it's a very serious head scratcher. But whoever owns the football team, I seriously hope they do a better job than Dan Snyder.
They are. Well, there's nowhere to go but up, considering the fact that they're already in rock bottom. So
whoever owns the team, please change the name.
Well. Go ahead, Jose.
Just one more point,
go ahead.
Before we move off. Jacob, I want you to remember one thing, and it's what Tree says all the time. Don't ever say you've hit rock bottom. You can only go deeper from here.
Got a point. Anyways, let's move on because I feel like since we did talk about Willis Reed, I feel like it should be fair that we should talk about what's been going on in the NBA as of late because we are deep into the second half of the 2022-2023 season. And safe to say, we're starting to see the playoff contenders start to form here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, let me say this real quick. And I think that if you look at what's going on in the NBA so far, we already begin to see the line begin to separate, especially in the East. Milwaukee and Boston is pretty much better than everyone else in that conference. They almost better than anyone else in the league. As I take a look at the standings, you do have to agree. Boston and Milwaukee have clinched playoff spots, but they haven't clinched the division because I've seen this now, and I'm shocked. Philadelphia is knocking on the doorstep for the top of the Atlantic. They are half a game right behind Boston because they have been hitting they've been hitting the slippery zone, and they've been getting a little bit inconsistent as of late.
Really inconsistent? They beat the fucking Pacers on Saturday.
Yeah, Pacers on one thing, but the fact that in their last 10 they went 5 for 5. I think they might have accidentally peaked too early.
I think that is possible. Let me run through the scores real quick before we get back to the standings. Right now, we got a game going on in Orlando in the Magic Kingdom. The Wizard and the Magic are doing battle right now. It's early, but it's 7-2. So
actually, it's 9. It's actually 9 Yeah, 9-2 Wizards with 9 minutes to change left in the first quarter. You can check that out over on NBC. We got a couple games coming up later on tonight. In about less than 15 minutes, we got a couple games about to tip off. Over in Atlanta, the Hawks will be playing host to the Pistons of Detroit. And up in Brooklyn, we're gonna have a good high caliber matchup between the Cavs and the Nets. That's gonna be a game you don't want to miss.
Absolutely. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to see the San Antonio Spurs want to put this season as far behind them as possible. They're playing against the New Orleans Pelicans over at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. That's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, New Orleans is trying to stay in the fight for the Southwest, while the Spurs are just trying their damnedest to even get a better spot in the draft lottery.
Yeah, absolutely. We also got coming up later on this season. This game will be on NBA TV. We got the Boston Celtics playing against the most surprising team in the NBA, the Sacramento Kings, over at the Golden One Center.
And Boston needs this win tonight to stay a hair ahead of the 76ers. We're not playing tonight because at 9:30 our main event is going to be Clippers against Thunder. That's going to be a good one because both teams are nearly evened up here and they can have a good fight in the West. But tomorrow the 76ers at 7 o'clock are going to Chicago to take on the Bulls in the United Center, and they need Boston to lose to have a chance to take the top spot in the Atlantic Division.
Absolutely. And as we shifted back towards the standings, I think that, first of all, we spoke about Milwaukee and Boston being ahead of everybody, but Philadelphia is right there, Jacob, like you said, on their heels. Meanwhile, Milwaukee has Cleveland to worry about when it comes to the Central.
Mm-hmm. And in the Southeast, it's pretty much a toss-up because Miami still holds the lead in the Southeast, but Atlanta and Washington are catching up. If Miami wants to have a little bit more of a cushion, they need Orlando to knock out Washington tonight, and they need Atlanta to bomb as well to increase their cushion.
Absolutely. Now we spoke about now we brought Michael Jordan up during the NFL discussion, but we're going to have to bring him up here because apparently he's getting ready to sail the Hornets.
I'm honestly.
Color me shocked. Oh, he's actually decided to sell the Charlotte Hornets.
What's next? He's going to own the Chicago Bulls? I mean, it makes sense.
He's probably going to lay back.
I think after the way how the Hornets are performing so far under his tenure, it's safe enough to assume he's staying far away from the owner's box as possible.
I think he's just going to go back to this being a season ticket holder and just enjoy it instead of trying to run it.
Absolutely. Let's stay in basketball, but let's head out to college. Let me ask this question. The same question I asked last year, and I'm going to ask it again. How's your bracket doing?
Torched. I think that's the answer you're going to get a lot of people because who would have thought we have seen this many upsets, shockers, and insanity in not only the men's but the women's side of March Madness?
I tell you what, Jacob, and I'll be the first one to tell you all. When I did my bracket, I said to myself, well, I know that Purdue, of all the number one seeds, I think Purdue is probably the weakest of them all. So they're not going to get to the Final Four.
They lost so bad they fucking broke the whiteboard.
Hold on.
We'll get to it, Cody. Just hold on.
I think that what I did not expect a team like Fairleigh Dickinson beat Purdue in the first round, and they becoming just a second number 16 seed to beat the number 1 seed in the men's tournament.
They joined University of Maryland Baltimore College to do the impossible, and that's knock out a number 1 seed in the opening round of the men's tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, what? It has you scratching your head going, what the hell's going on? I mean, now we've seen the upsets before the tournament got started. We've seen upsets in January. We've seen upsets in February. But then they just kicked into high gear once again in the tournament. Kansas went down in the round of 32. I mean, it's just a very serious head scratcher. And now we have no idea who's going to win the championship now. The Sweet 16 matchups, look just like this. In the South region, you got San Diego State and Alabama. That's gonna be a good Sweet 16 matchup.
Yeah, we started with 68, and now we're down to 16. As you stated, starting it off in the South, Alabama taking on San Diego State. Also, here's another good story you want to listen to. Creighton is going head-to-head with 15-seeded Princeton.
You know something, Jacob? We saw this last year when we saw St. Peter's win on their Cinderella run. It looks like Princeton is pretty much doing the same thing here.
Indeed, if they could pull off if they can take down Creighton and somehow win the South, they can become the first 15-seeded team to ever make it to the Final Four in Houston.
Absolutely. Now in the Midwest region, Houston got to the Sweet 16, and they're going to play against. Well, I hate to break the news to Cody, but they're going to play against Miami after Miami took the Hoosiers to the woodshed. They beat Miami in the round of 32, 85-69.
Ew, that's no nice there.
Nice, but,
Miami.
Oh, no, I think I see something in the sky. It's raining frogs!
Calm down. But yeah, Houston and Miami will duke it out in the Sweet 16. And in the other matchup, Xavier will go head-to-head with Texas, the Longhorns of Texas. So we got two Texas colleges in the Sweet 16.
Absolutely. Now, we spoke about Fairleigh Dickinson and the way how they beat Purdue in the round of 64 by 5 points. And what a game they have with Florida Atlantic in the round of 32. They just came up short. But
it happens. It happens to the best. You know, they should not have their head hung low. They did what only one other team has done, and that's something they can be proud of. In the East for their Sweet 16 matchups, I do believe this is the regional semifinals, if I remember correctly.
Yep, the Sweet 16.
Yeah, the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 are the regional semis and finals. In their semifinals, they're going to face off against the Volunteers of Tennessee. And then the other matchup, here's a good one. The Kansas State Wildcats are going to go head to head with the Spartans of Michigan State. That's going to be a good one right there.
I'll be the first one to tell you. No one didn't expect the Spartans to A, make the tournament, or B, get to the Sweet 16. Because here we are. They beat Marquette last round.
By 9 in the round of 32.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how it's going to be between Michigan State and Kansas State. That's going to be a very interesting game. Now, over in the West, the other number 1 seed, Kansas went down.
Yeah, the reigning champs went down after a walk-off win by the Razorbacks of Arkansas, 72-71 was the final, and they're going to be facing the Huskies of Connecticut in the Sweet 16. But on the other side, it's kind of something we were going to see sooner or later. Gonzaga going head-to-head with the Bruins of UCLA.
I think the question has to be asked, fellas: is this going to be the year Gonzaga cuts the nets down? We have seen oftentimes this team is. We have seen numerous times that this team is like. I think the phrase is always the bridesmaid and never the bride.
It is old as the hills in this day and age. But yeah, but it speaks a lot on poor Gonzaga. They have gotten so close to finally cutting the nets down, but they just can't pull it off when they can.
Absolutely. Now, before we switch over to the women, we do have some coaching news to discuss. Rick Pitino is on his way to St. John's. Yeah. Rick Pitino, the former head coach of Iona, and of course we all know him for being the former head coach at Kentucky, Providence, Kentucky, Louisville, New York Knicks, Boston Celtics, go on and on. But he's got a good resume, to say the least. Yeah, he has a very good resume. He has won championships before, so he does know how to do his job, no question.
Most definitely.
Of course, the guy who used to be the head coach at St. John's, Mike Anderson, is suing St. John's for firing him. I did not.
I think the reason he did that is because he wants to get his money he was supposed to be getting from the remainder of his contract, which is fair because honestly, if you have that much money and you're not going to be able to get the rest of it, you're like, yeah, I'm going to be asking for that.
Yeah, I did not know you could sue. I did not know you could sue.
I didn't know either. But yeah, switching. As we get past the coaching stage, let's get to the women's side because the women's have their fair share of craziness happening this year.
Yeah. Needless to say, this was not a very good year for the state of Indiana.
No, unfortunately, because look, give Indiana credit. Both the men and the women made good statements for their chance to move on to have a chance. I mean, Indiana was one of the 1 seeds, but unfortunately, in this day and age, you can never predict. There's no such thing as a sure thing.
That is true. They lost to Miami in the round of 32.
In walk-off fashion, 70-68 after a barn burner in Greenville. But let's take a look at the matchups. Let's start off with the first Greenville matchup. Of course, their number 1 seed, the hometown girls, the Gamecocks. I do believe they are the reigning champions, if I remember correctly.
They are the reigning champions, and so far in this tournament, they don't allow their opponents to score 50 points. They beat Norfolk State in the first round, 72-40, and they beat South Florida in the second round, 76-45. So, man, John Stanley sure does know how to play some defense.
And they're going to be looking forward to try to continue that train going as they're going to be facing the Lady Bruins of UCLA in their Sweet 16 matchup. But basically, in the first Greenville section, you basically got the case of 1, 2, 3, 4 because all 4 top seeds are in the Sweet 16.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think that Notre Dame and Maryland. Now these 2 teams they play in the ACC, so they know each other very well.
So safe to say the ACC thing is gonna heat up a little bit on Saturday morning. Moving on to the other Greenville section, this is where things get confusing because as stated, Miami shocked Indiana, knocked them out in walk-off fashion. They're going to be facing up against Villanova, the Hoyas of Villanova, in their Sweet 16 matchup.
They're the Wildcats of Villanova, Jacob.
College basketball, thanks.
I know. You're thinking Georgetown.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, and the other Sweet 16 matchup, I'm proud to say this: my Lady Tigers have been stepping up, and they're going to be going towards the Sweet 16 again. They're going to be facing up against the Utes of Utah on Friday with their Sweet 16 matchup.
Absolutely, I tell you what, those will be some great games. Now, on the other side, in the Seattle region, I did not expect Ole Miss to beat number 1 Stanford.
Again, it just shows how unpredictable college basketball is. We're going to start off with the Seattle 3 because that's the first of their regions. It's the same thing with Greenville. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. As in the first matchup, we're going to see the Hokies of Va Tech take on the Lady Volunteers of Tennessee.
That's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be interesting to see if the Lady Volunteers are back to where they used to be during the days of Pat Summitt.
God rest her soul. Yeah, and then in the other matchup, it's the Huskies of Connecticut who are trying to bounce back and try to get back into their dominating form they were before they got shocked and stunned. They're going to be taking on the Buckeyes of Ohio State in their Sweet 16 matchup. And then now we go into the final Seattle region. Like you said, Mississippi State shocking the world, taking down the Cardinals of Stanford.
Ole Miss, Jacob. Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Yeah, you're right. Ole Miss taking down Stanford. They're going to be facing off against Louisville in their matchup on Friday. And then wrapping up the Sweet 16, you got the Hawkeyes of Iowa taking on the Buffaloes of Colorado.
Mhm. Now, I tell you what, those Lady Buffaloes must be aware that we got a great football coach coming in, so time to put some bragging rights behind our women's basketball team.
Most definitely.
So that I think that's gonna be a very intriguing matchup. And like I said, I said this last episode as I began to wonder if anyone's going to stop South Carolina from getting to the Final Four. Now, Brandon did bring up UCLA as a possibility. It's possible. Either Notre Dame or Maryland is possible. I mean, the Greenville 1 region is not a cakewalk. So
no, it's not. Even though it has the top 4 seeds in the Sweet 16, it was not an easy road towards the Sweet 16 for those top seeds. Sure, they had some good matchups, but a lot of those seeds had to earn it.
Yeah, absolutely, no question. So it's gonna be a very interesting weekend for college basketball, both in the men and the women. And by this time next week, we'll know who's playing in the Final Four in both.
And I can actually tell you what's going to be going on in the with the matchups here tonight. For the Sweet 16, we're going to be starting it off. Funny enough, in the second Greenville region, kicking it off is Miami versus Villanova on Friday at 1:30, and then
hold on, Jacob. Hold on, Jacob. I gotta let Brandon into the bar.
Oh, finally. Serial man, you're away.
Settled first. Let's have Brandon get himself settled first.
And I thought I had issues with lateness. But yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
There we go.
Look, it's the homeless man.
No.
Oh, damn it.
There's another basketball league that may be coming back. Slam ball.
Oh yeah, before let me wrap up the times for the women's basketball thing. We'll talk about slam ball after that. Then at 4:00, my Lady Tigers taking on the Utes of Utah. That's gonna be it for Friday. Then we get to the night games. Starting at 6:30, it's gonna be Iowa and Colorado, and then wrapping up the Friday games is Louisville and Ole Miss.
Those should be very interesting. Now, since Corey wants to talk about slam ball so badly,
we can actually officially confirm that slam ball is making its return to the turn back because an investor put in $11 million to get the company back up and running. Honestly, I'll be saying this many times. It's a good idea, just in the wrong place. Because if you would have broadcast that stuff on like sports channels like FS1, 1 or 2, Fox, CBS, ESPN, and all that stuff, it would have been done a little bit better,
Yeah. Now I think we got Brandon with us now.
Yeah. Right.
There's a homeless man.
And there was also one more baseball thing before we go into MLB.
I want to hit hockey first before we hit the World Baseball Classic. By the way, the Baseball Classic championship game is taking place even as we speak between Japan and the USA.
I can actually confirm this. We're in the bottom of the first, still scoreless. Japan has taken spot as the home team. And pitching for the U.S. I couldn't get his first name, but it was Kelly, who has only had one start here so far this WBC.
You know what's crazy about this final between Japan and USA?
Go ahead.
Man, we really need good internet for Brandon in the bar because we can only hear robots.
Oh my God.
I think what Brand is trying to say is this is actually kind of a bit of a rematch years in the making because Japan and the U.S. have faced off in 2017 in the semifinals, which led to the U.S. capturing the title. So basically, this is Japan's chance to finally get revenge from 2017.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. We'll get back. We'll try to stay updated with the World Baseball Classic. It is still early on in the game, so we're not expecting any craziness until they decide they want to open up the taps.
Yeah. Let me discuss hockey, the NHL real quick, because I need to talk about the New York Rangers and how they've been dominant. I mean, literally dominant over the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 4 straight wins for the blue shirts, and now are getting into striking distance with Carolina and New Jersey in the Metro.
Yeah, let me say something real quick about that one, Jacob, because I mean, over the weekend in particular, it was Sunday in particular when the Nashville Predators.
Yeah, no, you're echoing.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah, but as I was saying, the Rangers and the Predators played against each other. I watched a hockey game and a football game broke out. They beat the Predators 7-0.
Yeah, that's what we call a shutout.
I'm not done yet because this is the same team that dominated over. I'm trying to get back the previous opponent. The night before they beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-0. I mean, back-to-back shutouts, and I mean blowouts, as a matter of fact.
That's gross.
It is, honestly. It just shows how crazy sports can be. Let's talk about the NHL because I feel like it's perfect enough. We got a lot of games going on today as we speak.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, starting it off up in Beantown at the TD Garden with 5 minutes to change left the first period. It is all tied up between the Sens and the Bruins, 1-1 with in the closing minutes of the first period. Same thing. A lot of games are about to head in the first intermission. Up in Buffalo, Sabres need to wake up because the Preds got a 2-0 lead about to head in the first intermission.
Yeah, with 3 minutes left.
I thought that this game is also about to get ready to head into the first intermission with about 5 minutes left to go. The Canadiens are leading the Lightning 2-0 right now.
2 minutes, up at the Centre Bell. Centre Bell. You can check that out on ESPN Plus if you have the subscription. We could be seeing the makings of a defensive showdown in a couple games. One being up at the Rock. The Devils and the Wild are scoreless with 3 minutes left into first intermission.
Not only that, but look up at the Garden with about
Canes and Rangers are deadlocked, scoreless with 4 minutes left in the first period. Basically,
I just want to say something real quick. I think the Carolina Hurricanes are saying to the New York Rangers, "You ain't gonna score 7 points. You ain't gonna score 7 goals on us."
And New York's like, yeah, it says a lot, honestly, that the top three teams in the Metro are deadlocked with their matchups today. And we also, speaking of which, also up in Philly at the Wells Fargo Center, the Flyers and the Panthers are duking it out, deadlocked at 1. With 4 minutes left in their period.
It's a 2.5 for my end. I don't know why, but take a look at the nation's capital. Literally, the Capitals are up 2-0, and they're just about 10 minutes. Well, they're in the first period, and
yes, halfway through the first period, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. The puck just dropped in this game, fellas. We got the Toronto Maple Leafs and the New York Islanders doing battle over at it's the UBS Arena.
Yeah.
So they just dropped the puck over there in Long Island. So that game's like get on the way.
Yeah, tip off. Yeah, puck drop is about to happen. Coming up at the top of the hour, up at Enterprise Center in St. Louis, the Blues going head to head with the Red Wings.
Yeah, at the same. Yeah, also at 8, Arizona going up to Manitoba to go against Winnipeg Jets.
At the what was formerly known as the Bell MTS place.
We also got coming up later on this evening the Seattle Kraken. They're going to get ready to play against the Dallas Stars down in Big D at the American Airlines Center. That's going to be a great game.
And we got a couple 10:00 games tonight. First up over in British Columbia, we got the Canucks going head to head with the Golden Knights, Battle of the Pacific Division.
Yeah, and
then wrapping it up, it's the Flames of Calgary going down to Anaheim to the pond, or it's down known as the Honda Center, against the Ducks.
That should be that should be very, very most intriguing. As we take a quick look at the standings real quick, fellas. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you, Boston so far is heads and shoulders better than everyone else in the Eastern Conference.
They have clinched the playoff spot, but there's a big but there. Toronto and Tampa are catching up, but it's slow. Toronto is just 18 points right behind Boston, while Tampa is 21 short from as a blackjack short from Boston.
Jacob, let me ask you a question real quick. Do you really think either the Maple Leafs or the Lightning could catch the Bruins at this point?
No.
Just checking.
Yeah, and like you said, Brandon, the Metro, that's a different story altogether, because basically the top three teams who are actually playing as we speak are literally look like something you would see out of on an airplane movie, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And how exciting? Let me say something real quick. How exciting! We got the Rangers and the Hurricanes doing battle tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God!
Rangers need this win to stay in the fight. And New Jersey's cheering alongside them to see. Because if Carolina loses and they can take down Minnesota, they will stand atop the Metro.
Here's the scary thing for New York, and here's the scary thing: the Rangers here are on a 4-game winning streak, and if they get the win here over Carolina, and as I just said that. With about 11 seconds left, Rangers up 1-0.
Oh, Rangers take first blood right at garbage time in the first period. They know that if they can peak at this time, it's perfect for them, because we've all seen in history, if you get hot late in the season when you know you have a chance to make the playoffs, that is just perfect. That is just right on the money. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to have to stop you right there, Jacob, because before we move on, you can get hot, but you don't want to get too hot, because that's how you burn yourself. And if you burn yourself, we know what happens after that.
Get out.
Good point.
Get out.
Good.
But
what do you mean, I'm wrong.
Let's discuss the wild card.
Let's talk about the wild cards for the East. As stated, we already know the top three for the Atlantic and the Metro, but here's a good shocker for it. But don't let the wild cards fool you. They got a good dog fighting themselves. New York still has the number one spot in the wild card, but here's the thing: Florida, Pittsburgh, and Ottawa and Washington would like to make reservations as well.
Buffalo is still in the mix.
Yeah, you're right. Buffalo's still in the fight, because it is literally count on hand differences, except for Ottawa, Washington, and Buffalo. How close it is for the wild cards.
Yeah, pretty much everyone still has a chance at making the playoffs, except the Blue Jackets. But
let's flip the coin and head out west and take a look at the standings there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we got a dog fight in of itself in many different in both conferences. In the Central, it is literally a three horse race between Dallas, Colorado, and Minnesota, with Winnipeg just on the outside looking in.
Absolutely, and then you also got in the Pacific, Vegas, the Kings, and the Oilers, and the way how they're duking it out and doing battle. You know, both and Seattle just on the outside, just saying, "Hey, we'll take one of the wild cards, thank you." But Seattle and Winnipeg, Seattle and Winnipeg, they had the wild card spots, but look at Calgary, look at Nashville, look at look at Calgary and Nashville.
They really want to get into the playoff situation in the West.
Yeah, St. Louis, Vancouver. And Arizona, they're
Yeah.
they're on the outside, and they live it way outside. Anaheim, Chicago, San Jose, they're going fishing. I think overall, though, the overall point, the way how exactly the way we're going, the way we're headed, it's going to be a wild finish in the NHL. And I think that it is going to be a complete toss-up as to figure out, who's going to be hoisting up the Stanley Cup. Will the Colorado Avalanche repeat? We haven't seen that happen in years.
We haven't seen it since the Penguins dynasty with Sid the Kid.
So, I mean, you got to ask it.
Yeah, you got to ask the question: what's going to happen when it happens? Since we are in the tail end of the 2022-2023 NHL season, what's going to be the big talking points heading into the playoffs?
Absolutely, because if my memory serves me correctly, and it should, the playoffs begin next month. I think I want to say next month. Next month is April. So
yeah, it is. Yeah, speaking of April, we are just little over a week away from the MLB season. I do believe the 153rd season of Major League Baseball. And hold on, I got some breaking news here.
Wait, what? What happened?
I got some breaking news. Trey Turner takes one out the house. First blood goes to the U.S.
There you go.
Trey Turner bombs one out to right. 1-0. Stars and stripes.
I just want to say this right now. You said Trey Turner is his name because, man, he's been hitting a lot of home runs in this tournament.
He's been banging like crazy. If he was a bellman, he would have broken that son bitch.
Yeah. I mean, it's just mind-boggling at how it's going. How he's having a tournament of the ages. Now,
definitely.
That's a good stat. Unfortunately, it's also a bad stat when it comes to the World Baseball Classic. And for the New York Mets, it doesn't get any easier for him as Edwin Diaz. I don't know how I pronounce his name.
Edwin Diaz unfortunately suffered a horrible injury during the World Baseball Classic. Might be out for the season, which is not good for Met Nation.
Yeah, I never thought that low Mets would make their appearance this early.
I feel so sorry for the Mets, but honestly, I feel like they've been cursed because we've all heard stories that during their time at Shea Stadium, cats would somehow sneak their way into the stadium. And I have to, and that makes me the question, you think a couple of black cats might have gotten in there? Because there's no way that they're that cursed as a franchise.
I mean, there's no ladders in Shea Stadium.
Well, also, and you hate to see it. You hate to see it get injured like this.
He's finally getting back on the upswing. He's finally starting to be the pitcher he can be. He's gotten some good wins for the Mets, and then right during the World Baseball Classic, where it's a celebration of baseball as a global sport, seeing all these great countries give their best and show off everything, and you see a good man like that get injured that hard.
Yeah, I mean, you really hate to see it, but as we get ready to head into the upcoming season, first of all, I've been hearing rumors about the situation with the Oakland A's and the stadium. In fact, man, I was watching a video on YouTube in which Oakland could be making their way out to Los Angeles. I mean, not Los Angeles, Las Vegas.
Oh, Christ.
So that's going to leave Oakland with no team, right? If that does happen. But here's the thing. Wasn't there a deal for Howard Terminal?
That's the thing. There has been no report on that whatsoever. And MLB is losing their patience. They're really, really losing their patience here. Because I know many people are saying MLB needs to expand, but Roger Manfred said, hey, we ain't expanding until we get the stadium situation situation in Tampa and Oakland, situated. Because let's face it, both those teams need new stadiums.
Yeah, most specifically the Rays, because honestly, Tropicana has done its damage, and honestly, if you think about it, an outdoor stadium in Tampa, I mean, it would work because considering the fact that if you have the city scale of Tampa right in the background of an awesome game, you can get butts in seats.
Well, I think that here's the thing, Jacob, and I think that the stadium has. I think, in my honest opinion, I think the stadium has to be has to have a retractable roof because you know how it is in Florida.
Florida weather is not nice. So 9 times out of 10, either you're facing sweat slumping heat or rain that goes on like the 7-year flood.
Yeah. So I think basically what they need is a retractable roof stadium. Because I don't think the Rays can stay that much longer in Tropicana Field. We've been saying it for the longest that stadium looks like a tomb. That stadium looks like a big old tomb.
And Miami can tell you a new stadium can do wonders for confidence.
That is true. I mean,
if you remember back in the day when they were known as the Florida Marlins, they used to play at Old Sunlight Stadium, and that was not easy because that was a football stadium.
True. I mean, look at the Raiders with their new stadium, Allegiant, and when was it built? Like fully, it was like last.
A couple of years ago. Yeah, it was actually a couple of years ago actually.
Time to the freaking playoffs.
Yeah, a new stadium can build a lot of confidence to the team.
And I think that also, I mean, we've seen what a new stadium can do. I mean, when the Baltimore Orioles opened up Camden Yards back in 1992.
They were the team that brought back the classy, wacky design of baseball stadiums. Because unfortunately, the baseball stadiums are going the ways of the dual purpose and being cookie cutter, and it wasn't helping.
Or the way how you call it, Jacob, ashtrays.
The ashtrays. As you know, believe it or not, a Major League Baseball historian said it best. It was a breath of fresh air. That was a breath of stale air because it was back to the old ways of wacky dimensions.
Yeah, and also now I'll bring this up because we have seen numerous new stadiums. Some are great, some are they could have done better. I know we spoke about this in the past when we speak about stadiums. We spoke about Soldier Field and how they messed that up. And now, like the Bears about to get ready to head on off to Arlington Heights.
And it just shows that sometimes old is good. The quote Slipknot: "Old does not mean dead, and new does not mean best."
Yeah. So, but I think overall, though, we're in for a great upcoming season. Now, I do have an announcement to make, and I'll go ahead and make that announcement right now. I know that we've been saying in the past that we're gonna ask the question if we're gonna stay put here on Blog Talk or are we going to move elsewhere. Well, I was planning to move, but since I'm staying put, we'll be staying right here on Blog Talk. So we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, thankfully, cooler heads have prevailed, and we are going to be staying put on Blog Talk Radio. But that doesn't mean we doesn't have a backup plan or two in our back pocket,
Yeah, like I said, we're going to be just like Family Guy.
Oh my God.
Good shit, asshole.
Oh boy.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, but safe to say, our run in Blog Talk will keep going until we deem necessary that we have to move shop.
The original plan was gonna be like for us to move to YouTube since they're now authoring podcast.
Yeah, that's what we've been hearing.
That's on the back burner. We'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, we'll
I think that I just want to. Yeah, I was about to say. I think that overall, though, I'll say this. We love listening to our fans. We love it when they call in. We love it when they ask questions for us. We really, really do. that's how come we're saying put him on Block Talk, because we like to hear from our folks. We like to hear from our callers. So, and I don't think you can do it any other place than right here on Blog Talk Radio. But I just want to say I just want to thank our listeners for listening in. And by the way, please catch our buddy Louis on the Enhanced Sports Show. He comes on. Yeah,
they've actually made the switch. They are now on YouTube now, but it's still the same thing every Saturday, 4 to 6 Eastern. 4 to 6 Eastern. You can call in. It's still 512-543-4664. And we have always give this warning whenever you go on the Louis show.
4662. Hold on, Jacob. It's 512-543-4662.
Oh, okay. I misspelled on that, misnumbered on that one. But yeah, and we always say this: the Enhanced Sports Show is a G-rated show. So please mind your P's and Q's when you're on Louis' show. Okay.
Absolutely. So, and on that note, fellas, as we get ready for a huge, and I mean huge weekend of action. We still got the XFL doing their business.
And I've missed out.
Yeah, as I said, we still got the XFL doing their business. We still got basketball.
USFL's coming up next month.
We still got basketball. We still got college basketball, both the men and the women. Heading straight down the stretch. I think that's what this has been fun. We're in for an amazing weekend in store for all of us.
Yep, and before we close up shop, I'm going to say this. I know you've missed me being on the show. Hey, real life happens to all of us. All of us, but yeah. But honestly, it feels great to be back on Blog Talk Radio, and hopefully, if trends go a little bit easier, I'll be able to make it back on the show more often than not. But that doesn't mean, Carter, can I have that beat back?
Sorry.
Keep on the back. Put the fan back, or else I will take away your fear.
Yeah, but I will say that. That doesn't mean you should not listen to it. Please tune into the Sports Podcast every Tuesday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Come listen in on Blog Talk Radio. We'd love and if you want to be like our good buddy Louis or a lot of our fans, please give us a call, 516-666-9955. Give us a call. We'd love to listen to you guys. Let us know how we can make this show even better than it can be, and how he can make it move on to the future and beyond. Because, like we said, we're going to keep this going until we decide to shut her down. And so far, we ain't stopping yet.
Okay. And instead of the road to 72 episodes, we're doing the road to 100 episodes.
We're getting there, but we still got a long way to go. But yeah, as stated, we got a lot going on. The World Baseball Classic is about to wrap up. It's got a great game. I suggest you go check it out on Fox Sports 1. You do not want to miss it. College basketball is getting to the Sweet 16. That means it's about to hit a fever pitch. The NBA and the NHL are deep in their second act, getting ready for playoff season. Major League Baseball is about to have first pitch next weekend. That's going to be a season you don't want to miss, and a lot of other great things that's been going on. But as always, we will be here next week for another great episode of the VWU Sports Podcast. But until then, you have to close up shop for tonight. Brandon, Jose, Cody, Carter, and myself, we thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. We will see you guys next week. We will talk about what's been going on with the Sweet 16 and everything else. Thank you so much.
Just a heads up, Jacob, game's tied.
There's your bombshell right there. Have a good night, everybody.
Folks, we will see you all for 71.
Oh,
we ain't getting canceled up in this motherfucker.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We love you all.